This is something I have discovered or dawned on me maybe a couple of months ago once I started reading about internal family systems. And then that got me in depth about self and the various different personalities, parts, whatever you want to call within me that reacts to situations and does things based on the situation, so on. It dawned on me what we do or don't do, or at least what I do, is all based on that particular person part. If I'm avoiding something, or if I'm getting angry, if I'm getting happy, it's all based on previous programming. That's one way you can call it, a previous information that I have that is stored that comes up whenever that situation, something comes up. So with that, all of a sudden it dawned on me the wording I used to use or kind of being obsessed with about self-improvement, self-development is completely wrong. Basically, it's more self-discovery. See, once you discover once you understand why you avoid certain things, or in the self that in the sense that there is a certain part of you that avoids the pain or wants more pleasure in doing something, so you go for it, then you can change it automatically. Once you understand it, you can change it. As one of my favorite quotes I constantly quote or say is Wayne Dyer's quote, once you change the way you look at things, the things you look at change. So that's what kind of done. This wording about self-improvement, self-development is completely wrong. It's all nonsense. Self, let me define self as I use it. Self is the soul, the thing that's never changing within you. You can have multiple views because here's the thing, people, like, even if you don't believe in that soul, whatever, or self being the center part of it, think about it. Are you the same person as you were when you were born, a day-old baby, and then the 2-month-old baby, and then the 6 months, 2 years, 10 years, 15 years? Heck, are you going to be the same person today that you might be 6 months down the line? What things you'll encounter that'll probably change. So what is changing? Is that yourself changing? No, that's just a new set of paradigms you discover, or we discover, I discovered, that changes based on that. So there is something that's never changing, ever changing. There's one something, whether you believe it or not. But if you don't, fine. Maybe this is not for you to listen to. But the main point is, if we get stuck on this, at least I got stuck on this whole self-development, self-improvement, so on. Now, I'm not saying, so there's a difference, right? When I'm talking about self, I'm talking about the soul as a person that somehow you have to improve. I'm not talking about improving certain aspects, maybe communication. I don't know, if in your job, maybe improving the skill set or developing skill set, or business, developing some skill sets, maybe sales, getting better at sales. That's not what we're talking about. We're talking about, as far as the core inner being, there's anything to develop. No, there's nothing to develop there. It's already perfect as it is. All we get stuck in is this whole other programming information we have that comes up, the past-based or information-based, that we come across, that either we go for or resist or avoid or whatever. When we want to do something, somehow we find ourselves avoiding doing something, or some things we like, boom, we go for it. All that is based on that whole programming aspect of it. That's what I've discovered. So since then, I've stopped using self-improvement, self-development, because that's the whole industry. I think, there's too many people talking about self-development, self-improvement, which is nonsense. What they're not, I think, not understand, at least now what I understand is, once you go into, for example, you're thinking of doing, I don't know, you're going for a business, or you've been thinking of investing in, I don't know, real estate or something else, stocks, for example. whatever the case is. And then you find yourself procrastinating, not doing it. And then you don't understand why. I want to do this. I want to make more money. And then you're stuck in this whole, I got to improve myself, thinking that's the answer. Instead of that, question that's resisting. Whatever that's saying no, the voice in the head, essentially. If you don't think there's a voice in the head, well, that's the voice in the head that just said what you're talking about. That's the voice in the head I'm talking about. Something is telling no, or this is too scary, or I don't know anything about this. There's something that's scaring you from doing it, or there's a pain associated with whatever that you want to do, you don't want to do. Now, once you go ask that part, why? What's wrong? What are you afraid of? Then maybe you get answers. Once you get the answers, you figure out, oh no, because maybe I'll lose all my money. Is that really true? That's the question. Everybody losing every money? All the money? Is that always the possibility? No. Whatever the case is, investing, you're trying to work out, whatever the case is. Once you understand the pain, then you can maybe say, hey, that's not real. The pain is not real. Or if I want to get to the here, I got to take the pain and enjoy that pain. Something like that. Either way, that's the self, right? Self doesn't essentially, there's a neutral part within us that doesn't matter what the person programming, or basically the eye of the storm. Eye of the storm doesn't care, but there's multiple things going on. The point is, once you understand the root cause of what you're trying to do or resisting to do, then it's easy to change that. But if you don't, it's hidden, then you don't understand, oh, why the heck am I not doing this? I need to, maybe that's when you get into the whole personal improvement or self-development, so on and so forth. Again, I want to delineate between personal development, all that stuff, versus skill development, certain skills, whatever you want to create or be better at. That's not what we're talking about. We're talking about inner core personality or something that needs to be better or somehow need to improve. Maybe it's improvement in a certain skill set, certain doing some things. That's true. But as far as there's something inside that needs to be improved, that's not true. All there is to be discovered is what's stopping, what is causing whatever you think is not doing well. There's always a root cause behind the scenes that's hidden from us. And that's the trick, finding that, discovering that, or getting educated on what's stopping or what's going on that's stopping you from doing things, or maybe enhance the things you're doing great. Because, hey, why do I do these things so great? I'm not talking about physical ability. I'm only talking about mental stuff, right? Physical abilities, most of the time, it's inherent, gifted, you're born with it most of the time. And obviously, you can improve on it and get better, all that stuff. That's different. I'm not talking about that. Anyway, so this is my encouragement to everyone to change the thinking from self-improvement, self-development to self-discovery, self-education, because it's truly knowing yourself. Once you know yourself, know all those things that stop you and makes you go for things, vice versa, all that stuff, or makes you behave bad, is all based on past or some programming, something. It could be just even generational. Sometimes we have those or ingrained things that sometimes are passed on generations. Or, for example, food. If you're in a certain country and been eating certain kind of food for generations, then it's hard to quit those food because that's kind of ingrained in the DNA sometimes, right? Generations that's passed on. Same thing with habits. It's been proven up to 7 generations or something like that can be passed on, and that can be there. But either way, regardless, it's all about discovering those things and seeing if you can change that. If you can't, then maybe work around it. Bottom line, self-discovery, self-education is the thing, not self-improvement, self-development. There's nothing in the self that needs to be developed. It's perfect. That's my encouragement. That's where I've discovered, thinking that I'm improving, self-development. I don't Yeah, I got stuck in I used to be stuck in that. Oh, I need to improve myself. No, there's no improvement. Like I said, discovery. Well, anyway, I hope that changes the paradigm for people. The one person listen to this, maybe, and then helps them on their journey. All right. Let me know your thoughts.